Good morning, folks. 34 years ago, a New York governor named Cuomo delivered a pretty famous speech at his party's national convention. He talked about the tale of two cities. If only he were here today to talk about the tale of two New Yorks. There are the gleaming skyscrapers that tower above this great city, the glittering steel structures with opulent offices, occupied by those who live in opulent apartments overlooking opulent parks, ferried to and from work in their opulent limousines. Then there are the teeming masses below who must navigate their way through rat-infested, filthy, sweltering, smelly, broken subways that don't arrive on time, they don't leave on time, and oftentimes they sit, going nowhere, wasting everyone's time. There are the opulent neighborhoods lined with opulent townhouses and boutiques that sell Botox. Then there are the masses who must live in dingy, dilapidated, rodent-filled public housing where drug dealers roam the streets and the halls, peddling their toxic brew, and the tenants can't escape. There are the pockets of opulence in the suburbs of New York and Albany where life is really good. Schools are great and the lawns get manicured every day. Then there are those who live in the other New York, in the cities and the towns and the once thriving communities where factories are now gone, stores are closed, jobs have left, and teachers even have to buy their own chalk to teach our kids with. Today is the day that we begin closing that sad chapter about the two New Yorks that are the legacy of this governor, Andrew Cuomo. Today we begin lifting New York. Today we begin making New York a state where everyone who wants a job can actually find a job. Today we begin making New York a state where the middle class can own a house, pay a mortgage, raise a family, and live a good and comfortable life. Today we begin making New York one New York, where children, where the subways work, where small towns flourish, where wages rise, and all children who graduate high school actually know how to read. Today, we also turn the page on the crooked New York, where building a factory or opening a business requires that you first line the pockets of the governor's staff and his cronies. Today we close the chapter on that sorry story of dreams deferred, dreams denied, jobs lost, and that sad and familiar upstate narrative of families broken up when their kids leave home to start their lives in other states. Today we close the book on a state with the biggest government, the highest taxes, the vilest corruption, and begin a new story of a New York where all are allowed to prosper, where all are allowed to flourish, where all are allowed to thrive, in a state nobody has to leave to find a better opportunity. That will be our story, and it begins here. It begins now, at this time, in this hall, on this day, May 23rd, 2018. Today we choose to believe again. We are going to start a new chapter in New York history, and that begins with electing Marc Molinaro the next governor of the state of New York. What New York needs, an able and gifted public servant who lifted a county off of its knees, balanced the budget, reformed the workforce, created a surplus, and did more with less. He cut taxes, and against all odds, he helped create new jobs in a state that it's damn near impossible to do it in. His passion for and experience in public service is exactly what this once great empire state needs at the helm right now. There are a lot of things to like about Marc Molinaro, and you've heard a bunch already. But I'm going to tell you mine. One, he's not a crook. I look forward to living in a state that is no longer leads the nation in the amount of indictments handed down on politicians. Number two, he's not a schoolyard bully. He knows how to get things done working across the aisle without whacking knees or assassinating the character of his adversaries. And number three, Marc is not a chameleon. He will be tomorrow what he is today. And what he believes today, he'll still believe next week and next year. Marc Molinaro is the leader that we need to turn Albany around. Each and every one of you has a part to play. From Montauk to Niagara Falls, we have to dig deep. Deeper than we've ever dug before. We must awake every last Republican and disaffected voter that Andrew Cuomo has left behind and remind them what's at stake in this election. This is our chance to turn the ship around and stop Andrew Cuomo dead in his tracks as he tries to make New York his liberal testing ground for a bid for the 2020 Democratic presidential nomination. We are gathered here as leaders from every corner of this state. Together, we will elect Marc Molinaro the next governor of the state of New York. And I am proud to second his nomination for governor of the state. Thank you, and God